First of all, thank you for being here. It's really good to see you. So this is a question that was asked at Kim and Brianna's panel. When was the moment?
Say again?
This question was asked at Kim and Brianna's panel. So when was a moment where you two were proud of the other?
That's a good one. Jensen, you want to? I know you've been talking about this.
Yeah, no, I'll take this one. So, I mean, obviously,
There are a lot, right?
tons. I'd say it's just really hard to pick one. You know, given the wide variety of moments where I look at them and I'm just beaming with pride, it's really tough to just narrow it down to one or even 13. So you just know that there's a lot.
Gerald, well said. He said it best. I was proud of him right now. You know what? There are a whole lot. There have been, more often than not, we're almost like sparring partners. You know, we're trying to better each other. We're trying to tell a story. Neither of us trying to do something that the other isn't expecting. It's a dance. You know, it's not a single show about, hey, look at me, what I can do, and you're over there. It's more about like how to support each other. There was one scene specifically early on, I can remember, where it was just the Jensen show. I was in the scene, but I could not help him, and that's when Sam was dead on the bed, and Dean had to talk to him. And I remember sitting there trying so hard not to move and play dead, and I could hear what was going on, but I couldn't see it. But every time at the end of the take, I'd open my eyes, and I'd see what Jensen looked like, having just done this scene by himself, and what the rest of the crew would look like, and the director. I was like, man, this must be really good. It sounds good. And a few times I wanted to tear up while I was dead, which wouldn't have worked. So I've never tried.
He's alive!
It worked.
And for that, I'm sorry. I guess that's what I do. I let down the people I love. I let Dad down. And now I guess I'm just supposed to let you down too.
So that was an early on scene where I was like, man, like, way to go. It's difficult. And I think most actors will probably agree that doing a scene with somebody else, you find a rhythm, and it's easier than just doing something by yourself, a monologue, a soliloquy. So I feel like that scene, and there are, I know he was teasing, but there are numerous. But that's one specifically that stands out where I know he was on his own. You know, I was there corporeally, but I wasn't there to do anything helpful.
And yeah, I was you know, just being a little for comedy's sake, but there are many moments, and over the years, the many years that we've been working on the show, I will say that there are these little moments, these brief moments when we're working together where, you know, he'll make a choice of something that maybe I didn't see or wouldn't have expected, or he'll put in a performance in a take or whatever it might be, and even sitting up on stage with him and speaking to you guys, there are moments that he and I have together when we walk off this stage, when we walk behind that camera, we just do a little of that. And that's me, that, you know, for me, that's him acknowledging that we just did a good job and we just had each other's backs up there, and I think we put on a good show for these people, and we should be proud of that.
Thank you very much.
I gotta say something. What? I'm proud of us. No, hey.
Okay, so I wanted to ask if you could tell each other one thing you find very beautiful about the other one.
Give me a sec.
20 minutes later.
Go ahead there, partner.
You know what? He's not a short man. But he has a wonderful tuft of hair that I can see because I'm 6'5", 6'4", and he's a mere 6'1", so I can understand.
Were you just insulting short people?
No. No.
Are you saying I'm short?
It's okay.
I'm short.
Because he was talking about me, and you put, so first we're dying, and now, all right, I see where this day is going. It's cool.
I'll start. He has, so you always hope, you always hope that you'll have people in your life that that won't stand for certain things. This sounds like a weird, backhanded thing to say, but he will, as a friend, very uniquely in my life. It's like there are a few friends I have in my life who they'll be like, dude, you're better than this. And that to me is rare at this point in my life. You know, like a lot of people who I work with are paid to tell me, hey, you're great. So it stands out to me when he's like, dude, like, don't do that. You're right, man. You're right. I'm better than this, you know? So I'll say that his ability to remain kind of who he is without being famous, like it's not about fame or power or status. It's more like, hey, dude, like up your game. Like you're like be better. You're better. Got it. Cool. Done. So his ability to kind of be outside of, like, if y'all know him as Jensen, Dean Winchester, I know him as, you know, Uncle Ackles, like my kids call him. So that's a very rare, very cool thing I get to have in my life.
That's exactly why I asked this question.
Well, then you got nothing to apologize for. Thought I lost you, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say his chest, but I feel like that might be inadequate. Not your chest. The answer. It's weird, it's like I asked for it, but I didn't even ask for it. It just happens. And it's hard to stop once it gets going, so I bear with it. You know, there's many things that I would tell you about him that I think are qualities that we all strive to achieve. I will pick one, and that is his ability to liven and lighten and make a room better just by walking out.
I just wanted to say that that's exactly why I asked this question, because you guys and everybody in this room is very beautiful and everybody here deserves to know it, so spread positivity.
Yes, you are.
Hey, Dean. What I said earlier about mom and dad, I'm sorry. No chick flick moments. All right? Jerk. Bitch.
How are you guys? I want to ask you about the first time you met each other when you were casted together, and was there a first impression that you took about each other and the blast or not? Either it's good or bad.
I'll go first. I think I knew when I ultimately met him that I was going to, because they told me like who I was going to be reading with. And so I looked to see what he had done and worked, and I was like, I thought to myself, we're bound to it. We had mutual friends, and I was like, unsurprisingly, you're in casting rooms a lot with other guys who kind of are white 20-year-olds, whatever it is. And so I kind of knew of him, and I was like, I wonder if I have any friends who know him specifically, and I didn't know who you know. I was like, I wonder if we met. And we met, and I was like, oh, he's a cute little guy. Let's see if he can act. No, it's kind of funny. It's really, there's a funny thing about Los Angeles where, we were also auditioning. I think he and I had more important things on our minds, as opposed to like, hey, let's make it a friendship. It was like, hey, we gotta get this job. We love this script. We've met the writers, we know the director, love the characters, and you're trying to, pay your rent. First and foremost, you have jobs to do. And so I think it kind of, there wasn't like a forced friendship where it was like, hey, I'm gonna go blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, we're gonna watch the Cowboy game too. Let's watch the Cowboy game together. Blah, blah, blah too. So it was kind of more organic than forced. It was just kind of, just had a lot of common, I suppose.
Tiger.
Dean? You scared the crap out of me.
It's because you're out of practice. Or not.
Yeah.
He was already there. He was already seated in the waiting room, sitting by himself when I walked in. And I walked in. There's a half a dozen,
At least.
different, guys there.
Especially for that, especially for the network.
And I remember I walked in and I saw him, and I think you had like a hoodie on, and it, like this like floppy-haired kid sitting there, and I was like, you better not be reading your Dean because I'm gonna mop the floor with it.
Luckily for him, I was sick of playing Dean.
Yeah. He was already playing Dean, little to my knowledge, because who watched Gilmore Girls? So I went over and I signed in, and I went and I sat across from him, and I was like, hey man, and he's like, hey, how you doing? And there was just kind of, idle pleasantries back and forth, and I remember I was like, I said, you read for Sam, or do you go for Sam? I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you just dodged a bullet. And I was like, okay, I'm going for Dean. I was like, are there other people in there already? Or he's like, no, I haven't seen anybody else. The first person that's walked in the door, I was like, well, that's kind of strange, right? He's like, I was thinking the same thing. And right about that time, the cast came out, like, okay, Jared, Jensen, you guys come on back. I was like, together? And then they brought us back in. This is very, like I'd never experienced. I'd probably been to, maybe not 100, but a lot of auditions at this time in my life. And I'd never been in this situation where it was just one guy for one role and one guy for the other role, and then bringing us back together. So we were kind of, both kind of scratching our heads, and we were like, what is happening right now? And then we walked in the room, and there's like 30 suits sitting there who were about to judge your life. And he and I just like, we didn't rehearse it, we didn't run the lines, we didn't do anything, we just went right into doing a scene together, and it just, it was like instantaneous, like it just kind of flew off the page. It was super easy, like he and I were, it'd be like meeting somebody and finishing their sentences immediately. So then they asked us to leave the room, and I was like, it was a nice thing. Texas, and I was like, okay. I'm
Like, we might get this.
That must be.
Also, there's no one else here. So, if we don't get this, we suck. We should rethink our lives.
That was probably the most important, 10, 15 minutes in supernatural history. It's whether or not it worked, because if they didn't like one or both of us, then I like to think we would be around there. It's funny because these auditions become so, it's like the drive to work, whatever you do for a living, the drive to school, or the walk around the neighborhood with your dog. It just becomes habit. I remember I had a friend one time over, and she was just kind of like getting into the business. She was a friend of a friend, and I had a stack of scripts. I just bought a house, I was trying to give them the tour, and I had a stack of like 30 or 40 scripts. And she looks, and she's like, "Oh my God, are those like your auditions?" And I was like, "Come here, honey." And I walked downstairs in my garage, and I had literally file boxes, like of thousands, probably 1,000 scripts. I was like, "Those are all my auditions." At the time I was on Gilmore Girls, and I'd done a few movies, this and that. And I was considered successful enough in my own right, but I was like, no. It's not like I booked 5 of 40 auditions. I booked 5 of like 500 auditions, So you kind of get this, you get really used to know.
Just think about that. Think about all of those producers that passed on this. Who's laughing now? All right, guys, we gotta roll. We're gonna get this day started. The band. I love you guys!
Take it easy. On a serious note, they are killing us. So love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Right. Come on.
You know what? You're awesome.
Thanks. You too, I guess.